Hi, good morning, all of you. So, in the previous classes, we discussed some problems based on the motion of an object on the rough inclined planes, right? And so now in today's class, let us see a few more concepts related to that. That means when two or more blocks are sliding down the inclined plane, they will ask the contact force between them, and they may ask like if they are connected by a string, then they will ask like tension in the string, or like that they will ask. So let us see some few concepts related to it. So it is contact force between two blocks moving on inclined planes, right? So it is a contact force between the two blocks moving on the inclined planes we are going to discuss now. Like suppose here I am taking in this generally that two possibilities will be there here. Like suppose this is the angle of inclination theta, and here I am taking one block here and this is another block here. So let us say this is M1 and this is M2 here. So then this is the situation here. These two blocks are placed on this, and this is the mu1 let us take, and this is the mu2 here. That means they are having the different coefficient of frictions there. So now our question is to find the contact force between those two blocks there, M1 and M2 we need to find there, right? And so to find the contact force between them, then there are two cases generally possible here. So the two cases means here, so that is case 1 I am taking here. So just to mention that consider two blocks of masses M1 and M2 are placed on an inclined plane of inclination theta in contact with each other. Mu1 and mu2 be the respective coefficient of friction between the blocks and the inclined plane. That is the considerations there, right? And so now here the first case what I am taking here is if mu1 is less than mu2. So this is the case what we are taking here. That means the coefficient of friction for this M1 is less than that of M2, right? So then if this is the situation, then what will happen here is you may write this acceleration of this block here. So that means we know that so acceleration of the block we can write as g sine theta minus mu cos theta here, right? So that means now here this is the case what we are taking here. So that means this is the acceleration of an object sliding down the inclined plane there, right? And so now in such a cases you can say that if once this angle of inclination is greater than this phi, so first we need to check this one. So this value we are taking it as tan phi here, which is greater than this phi angle of friction for that respective objects there. For each of them it should be we need to verify here, right? Whether this angle of inclination is greater than this angle of repose or whether it is less than angle of repose. For both we need to verify that whether for this M1 it is more or M2 it is more. So both you need to verify here, right? And so now here for example here I am taking a case like this is the first case here, or you may consider the first case as suppose it is less, then you will understand that clearly here. So right, so then this is the acceleration expression, and so here our mu term is here. So once that mu term is here, and if you are taking this case, the acceleration of which block will be more here, either M1 or M2 under this consideration. Mu1 is less than that of mu2 we are taking here. So for this coefficient of friction is less. So coefficient of friction is less here for M1 means then its acceleration will be more, right? Because here that coefficient of friction is there here. So from this what we can write is so if mu1 is less than mu2, that implies then a1 is greater than a2. That means acceleration of this m1 is greater than that of m2. If acceleration of m1 is greater than m2, then what will happen is both the blocks will move separately. That means m1 is having that more acceleration, so it will start sliding first there, so that both the blocks will move with the different accelerations and the contact force between them will be 0, so that there is no contact force between them. So here mention that if mu1 is less than mu2, then a1 is greater than a2, A1 is greater than A2. Therefore, both the blocks will move with the different accelerations. Both the blocks will move with the different accelerations given by A1 is equal to g sin theta minus mu1 cos theta, and A2 is equal to g of sin theta minus mu2 cos theta. Just that mu1 and mu2 we need to consider. So both the blocks will move with the different accelerations given by, so we mention that. And so the contact force between the blocks, is 0. So contact force between the blocks is 0 means actually both the blocks will separate from each other here. So this is M1, it is moving with some acceleration A1. Then this block M2 will be there here, and it is moving with some acceleration A2. So this will be the situation here. So then both will separate from each other, and so then contact force between them will be 0. So the contact force between the blocks is 0, right? So that is the one case here. And whereas if you are taking that reverse case, so case 2 I am taking here, if like mu1 is greater than that of mu2, right? So then that means then you can conclude that the accelerations of that blocks will be more there. That means acceleration of M2 actually, if they are moving separately, if you are assuming that moving separately, then acceleration of this M2 should be greater than that of M1, right? And so that indicates that both the blocks will be in contact. That means it is having, say for example, 4 meter per second square, then it should have 8 meter per second square if they are moving separately. So as they are in contact with each other, then this block will comes in contact with this. Like it is moving slowly and it is moving with some high velocity there initially. That means it is its acceleration is more. And so then what will happen is these two will come in contact. So this block will also apply some force on this M1, so that they will move with this common acceleration there. So we need to find that common accelerations there, right? So now let us write this conclusion here. Then both the blocks move with common acceleration. Both the blocks will remain in contact and move with the common acceleration. And so now I am writing this just both the bodies together as a system I am taking, and I am writing this force equation directly here. So this is our normal reaction N1 and this is N2. And so then this value will be there like M1 plus M2 into G sin theta, the total accelerating force. So here force F1 will be there and here force F2 will be there. And in addition to that, that M2 G cos theta component will be there like this, M1 G cos theta, and this is M2 G cos theta. So these components will be there like this, right? And so now we are assuming that both of them together as a system, and so it is moving with some acceleration A. Therefore now I am writing this M1 plus M2 into AC, or that A common acceleration, is equal to net force is equal to M1 plus M2 into G sin theta, right, minus of F1 or minus F1 minus F2 you can write. Is it clear? Because that F1 and F2 are acting in opposite directions there, and as the coefficient of frictions are different, those values are also different there. And so now you may write this acceleration of the system here from this. So this is G sin theta minus like you can take just that G cos theta term common, then mu1 M1 plus mu2 M2 by M1 plus M2. That means I am dividing with this M1 plus M2 here, so that you will get like this common acceleration here. So this is a common acceleration here, right? Then you may take free body diagram of to find the contact force between those two blocks. You may take the free body diagram of the any one of the block, either M1 or you may consider, or M2 you may consider. Then you will get this normal reaction here. So now I am taking this FBD of say M1. So FBD of M1 means then you can take this only M1 you can represent here. So when you are representing only M1, the force is acting over there. In addition to the forces what I represent, the contact force between M1 and M2 you need to consider there. So this will be the normal reaction N1, M1G cos theta, and this is friction, M1G sin theta, and in addition to that this contact force will be there. The normal reaction between those two blocks will be there. Now that N is the normal reaction between the M1 and M2. So right, and so now you can just write the force equation here. It is moving down with an acceleration A. So I can write this force equation as M1A is equal to, you can write this as M1G sin theta plus N minus F1. So we need that N value there. So therefore N is equal to M1A plus mu1 M1 G cos theta minus mg sin theta, right? So this will be the equation here. So from this equation you can find the contact force between them here. So the contact force between those two blocks you may write there. So those are the possibilities when two blocks are in contact with each other, right? So then based on this, if any question is there, so first you need to verify that whether the blocks are moving down or not. That means whether the given angle is greater than the angle of repose or not. You know that blocks will move, that means that will slide down only when this angle of inclination is greater than this angle of repose, right? And so that you can write, you can simply take this as tan theta is greater than this tan mu, and we know that tan mu is nothing but you can verify it as coefficient of friction there, coefficient of static friction you can consider there, right? So whatever the given angle is given, so then that angle you can consider there, and you need to verify whether it is more than that mu s or mu. Sometimes there may be a situation like only this block may slide down and this block doesn't slide down. So such a situations may also be there. So for that you need to verify that whether they are moving down with the common acceleration or not, or whether they are moving with the different accelerations like this, right? So you need to verify this and you need to answer this those situations there. And I will give a problem based on this, then you can calculate this contact force between two blocks here, right? So just I will give the data, do that calculation there, corresponding calculation. So this angle I am taking it as 30 degrees here. So that means this is a 4 kg block and this is 2 kg block. And here the coefficient of friction you may consider it as some 0.3. The coefficient of friction this is. So let us take this as mu1. I will write this values here. This is mu2, let us take. So mu1 I am taking it as 0.3 and the mu2 value I am taking it as 0.2. So find the contact force between those two blocks. That is the question there, right? So you need to verify whether it belongs to first case or second case, and accordingly you need to answer this contact force there. Do the calculations there, right? And sometimes they will ask another type of questions like those two blocks, instead of putting in contact, they will be connected by some rod there, light rod. They will be connected, and you need to find the tension in the string connecting those two blocks there, right? So now let us see such a type of problem also. I will explain directly numerical based on that. So you do that calculation. So now I am taking that a light rod. So take that problem here. So sometimes the inclined plane dimensions will also be, instead of giving that angles, they will mention that dimensions here. Suppose this is 15 meters and this is 18 meters I am taking here, right? And so then this is one block here and this is another block. Suppose say this is a block A and this is block B, and this is a light rod. And light rod, in the sense, the meaning of this light rod is nothing but both are, that means mass of that rod is negligible. light rod in the sense. So only mass of those blocks we need to consider there. So this is its coefficient of friction is 0.2 and it is 0.4, let us consider here. And mass of both the blocks is same, so MA is equal to MB is equal to some 170 kg I am taking here. So write that, then find the tension in the string. Then find the tension in the rod connecting the two blocks. So here why I am taking this rod means in case of string the acceleration, that means the tension in the string is possible again only in one case there. The tension in the string, if it is a string, for example, what I am saying is if the instead of this light rod, if you are taking it as a string, then if acceleration of this block is more than that of acceleration of B, then there will be some tension. That means the first block is having some higher acceleration, then some tension will be there in between those two blocks. So otherwise what will happen is if acceleration of B is greater than that of acceleration of A, then what will happen is the A will travel with the more acceleration, and so then a string will become loose, and so that there won't be any there won't be any acceleration, that means there won't be any tension in the string, and after some time they may be in contact, they may comes in contact with the blocks also, that means by string some lies in between them, and so then such a situation, that means the tension will become zero also. But here now as the acceleration so different, that means if the even though acceleration of this block is may be more or this block may be more, that means some tension may exist in that rod, because you know tension in the string is only a pulling force, but here tension in the rod can be a pulling force or it can be a pushing force also, right? Because by using a rod we can push the object or we can pull the object. So now let us proceed for this problem here. And so now let us write this common acceleration of the system, because they are connected with this string rod here, so definitely they will move with this common acceleration. And so then let us write the common acceleration, and you may find the sine theta cos theta values by using this. So tan theta value first I am writing here. So tan theta value is equal to, I can write this as 18 by 15, so which we can write it as 3 6 and this is 3 5s, right? And so then from this tan theta means now you can consider this as sin theta value, we can write it as 6 by under root of 36 plus 25. So it is 6 by root 61, right? So that will be that sin theta value there. And so then similarly you may find the cos theta value also. So cos theta value is also, you can write this as 5 by root 61, you may consider there, right? And so now let us write the common acceleration directly by writing those force equations, and then after that let us identify the free body diagram of any one of the blocks there. So I am taking this common acceleration equation here. So this is MA plus MB into common acceleration A is equal to, directly I am taking there M1G sin theta, that means MA sin theta and MB sin theta terms will be there in downward direction. So MA plus MB into G sin theta, and here this friction will be there here. This is say FA and this is FB here. So those frictions will be there in up the plane. So we are taking both of them as a system, so no need of taking the tension in the rod. So minus FA minus FB, and so therefore we can write this as MA and MB, both the values are same, so I can take that as 2 into MA or 2 into 170, you may consider there, into A is equal to, similarly here this is 2 into 170 into G into sin theta minus this FA and FB, you can write this is mu1 into M1G cos theta minus mu2 into M2G cos theta. So this is 340, A is equal to, this is 340 into G sin theta. Sin theta means this value is 1 by root 6 by root 61 minus mu1 is 0.2, that means mu1 in the sense A, mu A and this is MA, mu B and this is MB. So then 0.2 into this is 170 into G cos 30, that cos 30 is 5 by root 61 you can write, minus this is 0.4 for B into 170 into G into cos 30. Cos 30 is again root 5 by root 160 you can write there, right? And so next you may simplify this equation so that you will get the acceleration of this block here. So I am taking this as like A is equal to, you can do the simplification here, 6G by root 61. I think we can take that 160 common, so and you can cancel with that 340. So 340 with that I am cancelling there, then this is minus. So here we can write this as 5 by root 61 minus, so we are dividing with that 340, so 340 means here I can write this as 2, so it is G by root 61. Right, here that we are multiplying this value with the G, and so then this value is 2 you will get, so 2 into that 170, that 340 we are cancelling there, so only this 5 will be there in the middle term, and then these two G values are there, and here also you can substitute that the G value. So then this is root 61 and this is 60 minus 15, right, this is 5 and so it is 45 by, finally this is 45 by root 61, and that is the acceleration of this system here, right? And so then you need to take the free body diagram of block A or block B also you can consider there, FBD of A. So FBD of A means now here this is MA G sin theta, and this frictional force will be there along this direction, and the remaining this MA G cos theta normal reaction. Now you need to decide this tension direction here. The tension direction you need to decide, that means whether the tension in that rod is a pulling or pushing. So by that you can decide by using this coefficient of frictions here. So the coefficient of friction of this block is less here and this block is more, right? So the coefficient of friction is more in the sense, as we discussed acceleration equation, if that coefficient of friction is more, then its acceleration will be less, and so then its acceleration will be less when compared to that of acceleration of this block here. So it is having that more acceleration means the tension in that rod must be a pulling. So then that means it must be like this here. So it is accelerating down here. So then you can write this again force equation for this. So this is MA G sin theta minus T is equal to MA into A. Therefore this T is equal to MA G sin theta minus MA into A. You can substitute that A value and you can simplify that. So this is 170 into, I can take this as G into sin theta, that means sin theta value is 6 by root 61 minus A value, that is 45 by root 61, and therefore this tension is equal to 170 into, so 15 by root 61 newtons, and you may further simplify that. So that is the tension there. Even by mistake, if you are taking the tension in opposite direction, then you may get that value negative. Then negative indicates we need to reverse that sign there. That means we need to take the tension finally in opposite direction there. So right. So that is that when the two blocks are placed in contact with this, that means whether placed in contact and they are connected by this rod here. And next let us see, sometimes they may ask like questions, sometimes the object may be placed on some curved surface. They will give some curved surface, and on the curved surface they will ask like at what height we can place the object at rest, that means maximum height. So now let us see one such a problem there. That means an object is placed on the curved surface here. That curved surface equation is given like this. So that means it is having some curved surface like this. Like I am taking that equation of that curved surface as y is equal to x cube by 6. I am taking some equation like this, right? And so now here a block of mass m is placed to be at some height here. A block of mass m is to be placed at some height. And now here I am taking this coefficient of friction as some 0.5. Sorry, 0.5. Now our question is to find at what maximum height we can place this object at rest. So write that a block of mass m is placed on a curved surface given by the equation y is equal to x cube by 6. The coefficient of friction between the block and the curved surface is 0.5. Find the maximum height above the x-axis where the block can be placed in equilibrium, right? And so now for all such type of problems, we need to find the slope. Whenever such a equation are given for us, we need to find the slope of that equation. So that slope means then you will get the tan theta value from this, and from this we can calculate our required cos theta and tan theta, cos theta and sin theta values we can calculate there, because to take the equilibrium of this object we need those values, right? And so now I am taking the slope of this equation here. So just we can find this dy by dx is equal to, so dy by dx is equal to 3x square by 6 you will get there. So from this you can write this slope equation as tan theta is equal to this dy by dx. Now I am taking as tan theta, so you can write this as x square by 2, right? So now this is our tan theta value here. And you know, when the body is in equilibrium, you can say that the body is at maximum equilibrium, means you can say that the angle of repose must be equal to the angle of inclination must be equal to tan inverse mu. You can write there, that we already proved it previously. Like this is mg sin theta value will be there along this direction. If the tangent drawn to this will make an angle theta here, this is the case what we are taking. This friction will be there along this direction, and mg cos theta and normal reaction will be there like this. And so when the object is in maximum equilibrium, then what we can write is this is say equation 1. This is for equilibrium of block. That means this we know already. If you know already, that means you can write that. Just I am writing this just simplification here, the equation related to this. And so this is mu mg cos theta we can write. So the limiting friction value, this is mg sin theta. So this is tan theta mu is equal to tan theta we can write there, right? So that means when the block is in equilibrium, that is our consideration there. That means if theta is the angle of inclination for that particular plane, that means this angle here, the tangent angle made by the tangent, then correspondingly you can write this mu value like this, right? And so just let us take this equations 1 and equation 2 there. From 1 and 2, x square by 2 is equal to mu you can write. So x square by 2 is equal to, this is 0.5 is given, that mu value. And therefore this from this what we can write is x is equal to plus or minus 1. So here what we are taking is above the x-axis we are discussing there. Above the x-axis means we need to take that x is equal to plus 1 here, right? That means I already mentioned that above the x-axis, so that I am taking this x is equal to plus 1 we are taking there. And now you can substitute this x is equal to plus 1 in the given equation. So the given equation is y is equal to x cube by 6. Therefore this y maximum value is nothing but what we can write is 1 by 6 you can write there. That means that is the maximum height at which we can place the object at rest. Is it clear? So this type of problems are important to learn. Actually this is a previous mains question only. So that means we are finding the slope here. From this slope we will get the tan theta value, and when the block is in maximum, you can directly use this equation because we know angle of repose is theta, then tan theta is equal to mu, you can write. So that this value can be equated to mu value, you will get the x value. By substituting x value in the given equation, you can find this maximum height there. That is the maximum height where we can keep the block at rest. If you are further increasing, then slope will increase. Once the slope will increase, then mg sin theta value will be greater than that of limiting friction you will get, and so that then block will start sliding there. So that is we can't keep that block at the block at rest there, right? And next, let us see some problems based on this inclined plane. We will discuss some more general problems later, right? So this is some important concepts related to that inclined plane. And next, let us see some few general problems there. So let us see a few general problems based on this here. So this is say 100 newtons force. These are two blocks here, block A and block B, right? And so this is 120 newtons force we are applying here, and mass of this block is so this is 10 kg, and here coefficient of friction I am taking it as 0.9, and here mass of this block is 20 kg, and here 0.3 I am taking here, right? So those are this coefficient of frictions and mass of the blocks there. That is the situation there. Now our question is write that question for the system shown in figure. For the system shown in figure, find tension in the string connecting the blocks A and B, and also find frictional force acting on the blocks A and B, So for this type of problems, first you need to find the limiting frictions there. So then and you need to decide whether the system is accelerating or not. So let us find the limiting frictions here. So FA maximum. So the limiting friction for this I am writing here. So it is 0.9 into 10 into 10. Let us take that G value as 10. So this will be 90 newtons, right? So that is the limiting friction for this block A. And similarly the limiting friction for this block B. So it is 0.3 into 20 into 10. That means mu mg we are writing since it is in a horizontal surface. And so that this will be 60 newtons here, right? And so now here according to the given system, there will be, if you are accept this frictional force, out of these two, the resultant, if you find the resultant of applied force, if you find 20 newtons will be there along this direction, right? So if 20 newtons is there along this direction, then there will be some frictional force acting on A and B along these directions, right? And so if that, because of that frictional force, that means here the limiting frictions are like 90 and 60 newtons. So that means here the net accelerating force is only 20 newtons there. So then is the acceleration of the system is there for this? So acceleration is 0, right? If you want to accelerate the system, once if the system is ready to move, for example, what we are taking is, if you are taking like the system is ready to move. When the system is ready to move towards left, here also frictional force will act backward, and here also limiting friction should act in backward direction if both the blocks are ready to move towards left. And so then 150 newtons should be there in 150 newtons is acting along this direction. So this side force should also be greater than or equal to 150 newtons. Then only the motion of the system is possible. So but here the net force is 20 newtons only. So the acceleration of the system is not possible here. So you can conclude that because here net accelerating force is less than limiting friction. Therefore system remains in equilibrium. System remains in equilibrium. So here I need to mention one thing here. Whenever you are getting such a thing, that means when the system remains in equilibrium, then only you need to solve the problem very carefully. If system is accelerating, then problem will be easy for us. If once the body system is accelerating, you can easily decide the direction of the frictional force and you can easily decide the magnitudes of the frictional force, because once the system is moving, then only kinetic friction will be there, and so we can decide that direction of the kinetic friction also easily. Then the problem can be solved very easily if once the system is moving. So, but once the system is at rest or system is in equilibrium, then you should solve the problem very carefully, because you need to decide the direction of the frictions carefully, and moreover you need to decide the magnitudes of the frictions very carefully here, right? So that means in this case, the generally what will happen is, so then you can't decide the on which block the maximum frictional force is acting. That means here the situation possible here is on one of the block, on both the blocks limiting friction is not possible, right? If both the blocks, it can't be limiting frictions acting on this, the frictional force acting on A and B cannot be 90 and 60 directly there, right? And so on one of the block it will becomes maximum limiting friction, on the other block some static friction will be there in general, right? And so now you need to like verify like trial and error. So we need to take, you need to assume like maximum frictional force acting on one of the block, and you need to verify that frictional force acting on the other block is less than the limiting or kinetic friction. That means we assume that limiting friction is acting on this block, for example. Then we need to verify the frictional force acting on this block according to, that means by taking this as a limiting friction, we calculate correspondingly how much frictional force is acting on this block B. That friction what we obtained must be less than the limiting friction. If it is less than the limiting friction, then our assumption is correct and our calculations are correct, and then you will directly get this answers there. But here if you are by taking that assumption, the frictional force acting on block A is more than the, sorry, it is equal to limiting friction. If you are getting this frictional force is more than the limiting friction for this block B, then our assumption is wrong, because the friction cannot be greater than this limiting friction there. So then what we need to do is we need to reverse our assumptions there. First, if you are taking maximum friction on this, then that we concluded that assumption is wrong, then you need to take this maximum frictional force is acting on this block B there, right? So like that you need to do this calculations here, especially for this type of problems. And by the chance your first assumption may be correct there, then if your first assumption is correct, then you will be lucky, because then unnecessary calculation we can reduce there, right? So then here first we are assuming that generally here more force is there this side. So then I am assuming that more limiting friction, that means more friction may be there on this block. That is our assumption there. So that means first what we are assuming is, let us assume limiting friction is acting on A. So this is our assumption. That is our assumption. So then this is the case here. This is the block A free body diagram I am taking here. So this will be 120 newtons. Sorry, 120 newtons. So this will be FA limiting here, or FA maximum what we mentioned, which is 90 newtons. And here some tension will be there here, right? And we already concluded that system will remain at rest. So you can find this, the tension value we can calculate here. Therefore, tension what we can write is 120 is equal to 90 plus T we can write there, right? And therefore this is T is equal to 30 newtons you can write. So that is the T value what we are getting there, 30 newtons. Then now let us come to the block B. FBD of block B. So then if you are taking this FBD of block B, this side now tension will be there, which is 30 newtons here. And so then this side the applied force 150 newtons will be there. And so then clearly you can say that FB value should be there along this direction, because that block B should also be at rest. We already concluded that system will remain at rest. So now let us find here. So FB plus 30 is equal to 100. So therefore this FB value is equal to 70 newtons we are getting. So this is the thing what I am saying here. By assuming frictional force, maximum frictional force acting on any one of the block, you need to calculate the frictional force acting on the other block. Now we are getting this frictional force as this one. So here what we can conclude here is, now this frictional force is greater than our limiting friction here. You can observe that our limiting friction on the B is only 60 newtons, but here we are getting like 70 newtons there, right? So here less than or equal to 60 newtons, right? Therefore our assumption is wrong. So that means our assumption is wrong. So then our assumption is wrong in the sense, now we need to take our reverse assumption. That means what I said, now you need to take this frictional force acting on B is a limiting friction, right? So then automatically then you will get this answer for that correct answers for that case there. Now I am taking this reverse assumption here. So now, so let us assume limiting friction is acting on B, block B. So then here if you are taking, now first we need to take this block B here. So this side some 100 newtons is acting here, and this side some tension T will be there, and so now this side FB limiting will be there here, FB maximum will be there, right? So from this what you can conclude here is the tension FB value, this limiting friction we already concluded, this is 60 newtons here, FB maximum value we already calculated here. So from this directly I am writing here, therefore this T plus 60 is equal to 100. So therefore this T is equal to 40 newtons here. So therefore this tension in the string is 40 newtons, right? So then again let us calculate this frictional force acting on this A. So FBD of A. So FBD of A if I consider here, so this side 120 newtons is acting this side, and this side tension which is 40 newtons, and here this frictional force will be along this direction here, because the block is to be remains in equilibrium there. And so now this FA value can calculate here, 120 is equal to 40 plus FA, 40 plus FA, and so now from this you can calculate this FA is equal to 80 newtons, right? So this FA is equal to 80 newtons, and now you can observe that FA value is less than this limiting friction here. So this value is less than this FA limiting. So that means now our calculation is correct. Once you are getting such a situation, then our calculation will be correct there. And so finally now what we should conclude is tension is tension, that means force acting on this block B will be like 60 newtons. So therefore what we can write, finally our conclusions are like frictional force acting on B will be limiting friction which is 60 newtons, and frictional force acting on A will be 80 newtons, and the tension in the string is 40 newtons. So this will be our final conclusions there, right? So like that you need to solve this type of problems here. So by the chance, for example, if you are taking, this is our first assumption here, like this if you are getting, then in first assumption only we will get this answer there, right? So then that will be the situations what we need to solve, especially this type of problems there. Now let us take one more such a problem there. Let us take on the inclined plane here. So let us take on the inclined plane, and you need to proceed in the same way. So this is an inclined plane what I am assuming here. This is 45 degrees, and so then this is 45 degrees, and this is one block is kept here, and it is connected by using this pulley here, and this another block is there here. So this is like 2m I am assuming here, and this is m. Say this is block A and block B, and here the coefficient of friction I am taking like 2 by 3, and here the coefficient of friction I am taking like 1 by 3, right? So then again similar question here. Find in the system shown in figure, find tension in the string, comma, frictional force acting on the blocks A and B, frictional force acting on the blocks A and B, and acceleration of the system, right? So first let us verify whether the system is accelerating or not. If it is accelerating, in which direction it is accelerating, let us verify there. So for that, what we need to do is, first we need to calculate, whenever they are asking the frictional, that means how much frictional force is acting, then you need to first calculate this limiting friction values here. Not only in this, I said, I am saying in every class, like in frictional force, first we need to calculate that limiting friction values there, right? And so first I am calculating this limiting friction values here. So FA limiting I am writing here, limiting, or you may write maximum value. So FA limiting value is like mu n we need to write. So mu value is 2 by 3 mg cos 45, right? Mu n, mu is 2 by 3, that is given here. And so then this value what I can write here is 2 mg by 3 root 2. So let us keep here, you can do the simplifications later. Then next FBL. So this is 1 by 3, but its mass is 2 mg cos 45, right? And so it is also 2 mg by 3 root 2. So now that means the limiting frictions of A and B are equal now. And so now let us write the accelerating force for the entire system. When you are taking this entire system, the accelerating force is nothing but like this 2 mg sin 45. This will accelerate the system, and this will try to oppose that system here, mg sin 45, right? And so now the net accelerating force what we can write is the resultant of these two I am writing here. Net accelerating force means, so the net accelerating force is equal to, so 2 mg sin 45 minus mg sin 45, so which is equal to mg sin 45. So, right, so that will be the net accelerating force for this entire system. And so mg by, that means you can write this as mg by root 2. Now see this, how much opposing force is there. So the opposing force is nothing but, you can simply think like this block is suppose say moving down, because this will decide the net accelerating force is there. Let us assume that block B is sliding down, so that block A will move up. So here the limiting friction will act in upward direction, and here also limiting friction will act like this, since the block is moving up. And so now these two limiting frictions are the opposing forces only. That means limiting in the sense they will become the kinetic friction actually. Numerically they are same. So that those frictional forces will be opposing that. So the net opposing force, now we can write this as net opposing force. So this value you can write this as like 2 mg by 3 root 2 plus 2 mg by 3 root 2. So this value will be like 4 mg you will get here. So 4 by 3 into mg by root 2. Now clearly you can observe that this opposing force is greater than this accelerating force here. Therefore here the net opposing force is greater than the accelerating force here, right? Therefore what we can conclude is system remains at rest. System remains in equilibrium. System remains in equilibrium. So as I said again, once as the system remains in equilibrium, we need to solve it carefully, right? And so then again the same as our previous problem there. You need to assume like frictional force is acting on the one of the block will be limiting friction. Automatically you will get such a situations. Whenever such a system is in equilibrium and some external force like accelerating force is acting on the system, frictional force on one of the block will be limiting friction you will get there, and so that on the other block it will be less than that of limiting friction you may get. And so now again you need to take some assumptions here, like the frictional force acting on B is limiting you may assume, and A is limiting you may assume, and you need to verify, same as that of our previous problem. So which block we can assume here? So let us assume on the block B, I am assuming it has some limiting friction here, right? So that means now let friction on B is limiting friction. Friction on B is limiting friction. So friction on B is limiting friction means then what we can write here is, so then let us do the calculations here. From this you need to calculate this tension here. So this is 2m. So 2mg sine 45 and this tension is T, and now here this FB limiting we are taking here, right? So this will remains at rest. So therefore this T is equal to, directly I am writing here. So this is 2mg by root 2 minus, this minus I am writing here FB limiting. So that FB limiting value is this one, 2mg by 3 root 2, right? And so that this value what we can write here is 4mg by 3 root 2. So it is the tension in the string. Now let us take FBD of A. FBD of block A. So for this block A, this tension will be there along this direction, and mg sine 45 will be there along this direction. Now you need to decide this direction of the friction, and so you can observe that this tension will be greater than that of this mg sine 45. So I am taking this frictional force on this A is in downward direction here. So again we know that this block A will remains in equilibrium here, so you can balance these forces there. So therefore the T is equal to FA plus mg by root 2, and therefore this FA is equal to T minus mg by root 2. So therefore this FA is equal to, T value is nothing but 4mg by 3 root 2 minus mg by root 2. So again let us take this LCM and simplify this. Therefore this FA is equal to mg by 3 root 2, right? And so now this value is clearly you can say that this frictional force acting on this will be less than our limiting friction here. Our limiting friction is this one, 2 mg by 3 root 2, and so that this frictional force, that means our assumption is now correct here. So that means now we can check this in the first trial itself, we are getting this correct conclusion there. Therefore this value is less than this FA is less than this FA limiting. Therefore that means as FA value is less than FA limiting, our assumption is correct. Our assumption is correct. Therefore finally you can conclude our values here. So FB value is, FA value is mg by 3 root 2, right? And FB value is limiting friction, so which is 2 mg by 3 root 2, and the tension in the string is what we got here, this is 4 mg by 3 root 2, right? So these are the corresponding values for us here, right? So that means if suppose if you are getting away again, if you are assuming like frictional force acting on this A is of the limiting friction, if you are taking a first assumption like this, then you will get the wrong conclusion. That means frictional force acting on this A will be, B will be, then you will get more than the limiting friction, then you need to reverse our assumptions there. So like that you may get this, your assumption is true in the first trial itself. So if you are getting a first trial itself, then it will be lucky, then we can save some time here. and so that we can verify this, that means we can get this frictional force and tensions easily there, right? So this is a way of solving this type of problems here. And in the next class we will discuss some more problems, and especially next time I will discuss like the frictional force in case of accelerating objects. That means in case of accelerating objects with the help of pseudo force, then how to take this, how to solve the problems related to that. And after that I will explain this block and block problems there, right? So till then we are not started that block and block problems. So the remaining you can solve that. That means that pseudo force problems involving the pseudo force we need to discuss, and the block and block problems we need to discuss there, right? So then with the help of this you can solve the general frictional force problems there, problems based on the general friction and inclined planes you can solve there, right? Thank you.